Hello, Substriker Army! My name is JaCubAsAlways, and I'm your coach of the Green Bay Pikachus, and this is our ICBA International Competitive Battling Association Draft Recap for Season Number 2. We went 4-6. We could have went 5-5 or a little bit better last season. However, we did make the playoffs in Season Number 1. I didn't finish uploading all of that, but we're going to be consistent. I got stuff going on, but I know what needs to be done in order to be consistent now. This is going up on the JaCubAsAlways smaller YouTube channel. The other one's just going to be used for a random assortment of things, maybe just fun streaming or something like that. But this will be our primary channel. This is where we're going to be doing soul links and all that jazz, but that will be for just a video update or something later down the line. But that's not what today's about. Today is about the ICBA, where I will put in the description down below to all of the other coaches, probably. If not, I'll just put like a link to it down in the description to everyone, and the ICBA channel and Twitter and everything. The owner is Johnny GB, and he let me come back for season number 2, so I'm glad to be part of it, because this team that we have is the best draft team I have ever drafted. I have not drafted a better team, for me personally. Obviously, there's been teams that have been drafted that are better, but this has been the best team I've ever drafted, like, on paper. On paper, it looks like so much fun. I'm going to enjoy building it with it every single week of the season. But before we get started with this, I don't want to go and ramble on too long, because, you know, that's me. I will ramble on forever and ever until I die, pretty much. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Substriker Army, let's get started. So there are a ton of Pokemon that were voted upon that we could pick from, and that are legal in this season that I pretty much voted banned because I personally think they're too good for draft format. But I will get into some of the Pokemon right now. Some of the threats that we allowed that I don't feel should be allowed are Speed Boost Blaziken, Darkrai I think should be allowed. Speed Boost Blaziken, Protean Greninja, Mega Latios, and Mega Latias. And the last but not least, Mega Metagross. Those 5 I just think should have gotten banned. Everything else I can deal with to some degree. Deoxys Speed and Deoxys Defense are also legal. I don't have a huge issue with those. Obviously, Deoxys Speed is an enormous threat and is a very, very good Pokemon. A great Pokemon, in fact, in draft format. But I can deal with those. So Pokemon like that I just named, those first 5, they cost you 50 points. I can't go over every single Pokemon that are in the tier list, because if we do, this video will be like an hour and a half long if I went through every single Pokemon. But I don't know if there's going to be a draft doc or anything like that. If there is, it'll probably be in the description down below. But anyway, just know that there are a lot of big threats. We voted on tiers and everything like that, so if we thought certain Pokemon should be certain places, we voted on it. Like, for example, Tapu Fini is either a tier 1B or a tier 2A. It got to be tier 2A, etc., etc. But anyway, we had the 8th pick. So we're like right in the middle of everything going on. So obviously there's 16 coaches. Well, I didn't state that obviously, so it's not obvious, but there are 16 coaches. And I'm just like, in theory, I should be able to get something really, really good. And I'm like, I doubt either of the Mega Latias were going to be around. And by the way, Mega Kangaskhan is also allowed. It got neutered and stuff like that. Plus, I think it's a lot easier to deal with. It actually went undrafted, surprisingly, Mega Kangaskhan. So interestingly enough, I don't know how it did, but it did, so no dealing with Mega Kangaskhan. But yeah, anyway, with the nerf and stuff, there's no Seismic Toss. We banned Seismic Toss on it anyway, so without Seismic Toss, Mega Con is not nearly as powerful, so yeah, it's definitely workable, so I don't think it's broken as it compared to an Oris. It was it was way too good for draft format. Now it's not. But anyway, I knew Mega Metagross was going number 1 overall. It would have been foolish not to, but Mega Latias dropped to us at number 8, and I'm just like, I'd be fine with Mega Latios, but Mega Latias is that much better, I feel, because of its insane bulk. This thing's got 120 defense, 140 special defense, and doesn't have, I believe it has 150 special attack. No, 140 special attack, 150 special defense. This thing is just insanely bulky, and it's a lot better than normal Latias in the sense that it can sponge knockoffs. Like, it can just sit in there and sponge knockoff. So if somebody's got a Bisharp, if I'm facing a Bisharp, which somebody did draft Bisharp, I literally bring this thing in, Knockoff's not going to kill me. I can click Reflect type, and it's not going to kill me again. I click Roost and just can beat it 1v1 like that and have HP fighting or something of that nature. So, somebody drafted Bisharp. Don't be watching this. I'm not going to say who has Bisharp, but the person knows they have Bisharp. So, but yeah, Mega Latias is insane. Reflect type's always a nice option. Calm Mind. Obviously, it's a default user, so that's always great to have. And it has pretty good attack too. It's got the same attack as Victini at base 100. So if I want to run Earthquake for a Heat Run, I'm going to run Earthquake for a Heat Run. And this thing, obviously, it's a Latias. It gets insane coverage by itself. So like this thing can pretty much do anything you want it to do, except for set up hazards. That's really the only thing you can't do for your team. If you want it to be a nice pivot, it can do that. Like, it doesn't have Regenerator or anything like that, but it's still going to be a pretty insane Pokemon. That's all I'm going to say. So, some Pokemon I wanted to pair up with this thing was something like Clefable, because it has Unaware, and if I want to go Calm Mindset, that would be a big nuisance to deal with. However, Clefable was not there anymore, but then I'm talking to my friend, the Scruffy Fox Mark, and he's like, oh, and I had this as an idea in my head. I wanted this too in combination with Clefable, but I just thought to myself, no way I'm getting all three. But it's actually Excadrill. So Excadrill is actually going to be our second round pick. So I was surprised to see this still here too, halfway through the second round. I mean, I guess with this many overpowered Pokemon and all that stuff, you gotta get something. Like, something's gonna drop in Excadrill. And believe me, there are a lot of other Pokemon that fell to me, and I just couldn't believe fell to me. But yeah, Excadrill is an amazing Pokemon. It'll beat that said Clefable that I really wanted to, because like, it's just steel typing. It makes it insanely great of a Pokemon. So like, it's amazing. Like, think about it. You just click Iron Head. Yeah, Clefable could be a Berry, but you can just run Aqua Berry. So when it clicks Flamethrower, you just nuke it. And you'll kill it before he kills you, essentially, which is amazing. But yeah, Excadrill is a very great Pokemon in draft format, and it does not need to sand. You'll see if we drafted sand later on. Spoiler alert, we did. You'll see what sand setter we got. But yeah, I had an idea that I wanted a sand offense, just because I felt we wanted it for sure. Excadrill is a tremendous Pokemon for sure, just because it has access to setting up with Swords Dance. It's a spinner, obviously, so we have a Defogger and a spinner already. Sets up rocks. A Mold Breaker is obviously a great ability in draft format, because usually Rotom Wash can wall Sandrus Excadrill, but it can't wall Mold Breaker Excadrill, as Earthquake's just gonna nuke it. Obviously, they could run Shuca Berry for that to prevent that and try to, in turn, knock us out with a Hydro Pump or something like that, which, if we invest into Excadrill correctly, it's a very, very bulky Pokemon, and especially with like Wish support, which you already have Latias for Wish as well, if we really wanted that. Also, Latias, I forgot to talk about, has Healing Wish, so there's that. But yeah, next up we actually have Excadrill, obviously. Why am I saying next up? We're talking about it right now. But yeah, Excadrill is just a great Pokemon. It's got a lot more bulk than you would think. Has enough coverage. I guess I'll just talk about the Z Pokemon as we drafted them, because there's no point in going back and then talking about them again. But yeah, Excadrill is actually one of our Z Pokemon. We get 3 in here, and they can use any Z move. So I could go for Z Sandstorm if I wanted to, but I mostly will probably use offensive Z moves like X-Scissor for those Tangrowth, or Aerial Ace for those, like a Breloom or something random like that. Then again, I probably wouldn't stay on a Breloom just because we might lose. We might lose to it because of Mach Punch or something like that. But obviously, I wouldn't go that route unless I felt I needed to. But I'm just using that as an example. Hell, even Grounding UMC is going to be super nice to have. But offensive Excadrill with Z moves is just tremendous. It's really, really powerful. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Like, obviously, like, okay, say somebody's got a Mega Sable, you can just click Toxic and set up rocks on it too. So that's really great to have in your arsenal. Just as the nation needs to have. And this actually gets Crush Claw too, so if I ever want to lower their defense by 1, I can go that route too. I think it gets, no, it doesn't get Screech. I was going to say, Screech would be really nice to have. Lower their defense and just nuke them with an Earthquake. That'd be really cool. But yeah, Excadrill is Excadrill. Like, obviously, you guys have an idea what that's going to do already. And if somebody does have a Tapu Bulu or something like that, Bulu did get drafted, I can always go Drill Run rather than Earthquake, because Drill Run is not affected by the grassy terrain, I believe. I know things like Earthquake, Bulldoze. I don't think Drill Run's affected by grassy terrain. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just going to be called an idiot in there. But grassy terrain's not going to necessarily be up all the time for us because of our next Pokemon, our third round pick. And I thought this was a huge steal in Tier 2A. We actually drafted Tapu Fini, name brand. Obviously, by the way, Latias's nickname is going to be #GramSucks because it's a Psychic type, and I name all my Psychic types #GramSucks. And Excadrill is kind of the primary Pokemon we'll be building some teams around, and it's got like shreds for hands and stuff like that. So I'm going to name it A-Rod because Aaron Rodgers, the Packers quarterback, our team name, the Green Bay Pikachus, is based off of. Just shreds opposing defenses, and Excadrill will do the same, so I thought the team, or the name was pretty fitting, I'd say. But next up we have Tapu Fini, which is going to be named Brienne, because I name most of my fairy types Brienne after my beautiful girlfriend, who's at work right now, so I just thought this was a huge deal in round 3 and at Tier 2A. Maybe not round 3 necessarily, I think that's a correct drafting place for it, but Tier 2A is definitely a steal, as Tapu Fini is yet another Hazard River in Defog, which I don't necessarily want to bring Defog every week, so that's why we have Drill. But I will bring Defog if need be. Our team's not even weak to hazards really yet, so I'm not entirely worried. But also this thing gets things like Taunt. Nature's Madness is just enormous to weaken teams, and that's going to be really crucial for something like Excadrill, because weakening teams for Drill or Latias with Nature's Madness is going to be great. It's a Calm Mind Sweeper if need be, a fast Taunter, a pretty fast Taunter, 85. Obviously, we're not really going to run Scald because of our ability, so that might be annoying, but like, once the hidden ability comes out, which I think they're going to come out in Ultra Sun and Moon, which will be great, this thing will be, I feel, have another niche, because Telepathy, although pretty much useless in singles, could just be nice. That way you can kind of freely spam Scald. I feel like this will give let's see, Tapu Fini a different play style, I should say, because as the other Tapus can pretty much spam their moves. I'm surprised that Misty Surge, Misty Terrain doesn't boost out Fairy moves. I would think it would, because Psychic Terrain, Grassy Terrain, and Electric Terrain all do that, but weirdly enough, Misty Terrain or Misty Surge does not do that, so that's okay. There's also great options like Surf, Muddy Water if I want to go that route. Moonblast is always powerful. This is not a Z move, obviously. We had some better Z-Mons later. This could have been a potential option, but it's a Tapu Fini. I'll have better things to do with Tapu Fini more often than not. Obviously, it's a Haze user, too. That's actually kind of important, because it'll stop Pokemon from setting up Calm Minds, like a Clefable setting up Cosmic Powers. That'd be really huge. Keep it low. Keep clicking Haze, Nature's Madness, etc. I don't even know if I face Clefable or if I face Bishop this season, like I was talking about. It'll just be nice for an option. Obviously, if they have like a Levitating Pokemon that can just freely switch into this thing, I could just run Toxic too for those Levitating Pokemon, but it'll be based on matchup. But this thing also gets dual screens if we want that route. It gets enough coverage for what I want it to do, which is actually really, really important, and I definitely am going to enjoy that. Oh, also, Whirlpool. Trapping sets. That's important to have in your arsenal, in the back pocket, I feel. So I do like that. Soak Toxic could be cool. Or not Soak. Soak in general would be a nice niche to have, but we'll see what happens. But that is Tapu Fini. That was our third round pick. Next up, our team was looking really scared of like just Landers, T, Pokemon like that. In general, like just ground types, it's kind of scary. Yeah, I mean, we have bulky offense right now, but I wanted to make sure I got myself a really good bulky grass type, because I was very afraid of Pokemon like Zygarde 50%, which did that. Yeah, that did get drafted. I was like, I couldn't even remember if that got drafted or not, but just a minute. I don't know why I'm hearing the sound for that. So just a minute. Yeah, for whatever reason, the sound of my game just came on really loud all of a sudden, and I don't know why. There, now I can hear my music that I was listening to. That just startled me all of a sudden. For some reason, it just started popping up, but our team was really looking weak to ground and set up ground move Pokemon, so I was afraid of that. So I wanted to go with Chestnut here. It's a grass fighting type, obviously, as you guys know. It's very, very bulky. It gets moves like spikes. I really wanted spikes on this team for sure. Yeah, we have 2 defoggers and a rapid spinner, so we don't need any hazard removal for the rest of the draft, I'd say. But yeah, Chestnut has a great ability in bulletproof, so Pokemon like Gengar can't really just spam Shadow Ball. Our team was extremely weak to Ghost, and I didn't want Pokemon to just spam Shadow Ball versus us. I wanted them to force to run like Sludge Wave or like Hex or something of that nature instead of just Shadow Ball. So Chestnut it is. Also, Leech Seed support is great for the team, as is Spikes. And obviously, a Pokemon that we have an issue with kind of is Mega Lopunny, but not really at the same time. We have Bulky, Tapu Fini, and Latias, so not really that worried about that, but it could be a thing that can be ran. Just having Spike support Roar even as well, it's great. This can be a potential Belly Drum Sweeper or Belly Drum Salic or SD Salic or something of that nature. It's like a decently speed. 64 isn't the fastest thing in the world, but like other Pokemon like Blissey or something, this thing can taunt Blissey and just stall it out with Synthesis and Toxic and everything like that, or something of that nature. Not necessarily a Blissey, but because Blissey can just switch out and be fine and cured from the poison. But just in general, it's kind of cool to have. Super Fang is a nice niche to have as well. This thing can do quite a bit for our team, so I'm really looking forward to Chestnut. Yeah, round 4 is kind of early to pick it, but at the same time, I definitely don't mind having this Pokemon at all. There's just a lot of fun things we're going to be able to do with it, I feel, and we'll be able to use it pretty well, I'd say. But yeah, it definitely matches up pretty well with our team so far because its weaknesses of flying and stuff we'll be able to square up. We have an Excadrill already. Obviously, Excadrill's not going to really want to switch into flying types, as most flying types have fighting coverage. Not all flying types, like Landorus T, or they have dual typing that helps them, like Talonflame can beat it, Lando T can beat it. Then again, we can also beat those Pokemon too, granted our team matchup and everything like that. But yeah, Chestnut is going to be a great Pokemon, I feel, for us. There's a lot of different things. Probably bring it defensive a lot of weeks, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to using this thing, and it's not going to be passive at all just because of the move set it gets, and I think it's going to be a great choice for our team. Next up, with round 5, and boy, did we get a steal in round 5. How this Pokemon lasted until round 5 is beyond me, but I noticed it still there, and I'm like, we don't have a flying type yet. It's a tier 1 Pokemon. I love myself a Regenerator Pokemon. If you guys haven't guessed the Pokemon already, it's Tornadus. This thing is a great pivot. It can do a lot of things. It can be offensive. It can be defensive with Assault Vest. It can just be a Life Orb for attack set. It can pretty much do whatever you want. It can just nuke things with choice specs. And this is actually our second Zmon user. The reason I picked Tornadus is because it has a lot of move diversity, like Dark Pulse, like Heat Wave, like Grass Knot, like Hurricane, like Sludge Wave. It has so many different possibilities for us to run that I thought it was a great Z Pokemon for us. Oh, Icy Wind. Z Icy Wind could be really nice for something like Zygarde or Garchomp or Salamence or Dragonite or any of those dragon types. It'll be really great to have in our back pocket. I know I keep saying that, or in our arsenal, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, Tornadus, I don't know how it lasted till round 5, but I'm not going to argue with that because we got Tornadus in round 5. Tornadus, to be specific, its name is going to be Scruffy. By the way, our Chestnut's name is going to be Ty because I named most of our Pokemon, the fighting types that we have. I think I named it, yeah, Ty. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun for sure. Tornadus' name is going to be Scruffy because I named most of my Genie Pokemon, Landorus, Thundurus, Scruffy after Mark because it's kind of got a beard, and when I think Scruffy, I think facial hair and all that good stuff. Kind of weird nickname, I know. I guess I could have named Chestnut that, but Tornadus takes that cake. But Tornadus is just going to be a great Pokemon, 100%. Like, it can do so many things for your team. Did I mention it can just spam knockoff and get rid of all the items? It's got 121 base speed, as I'm sure a lot of you already know, but I just felt the need to say it again. One of the fastest draft league taunters in the game. Like, this is just so good at what it does. It also has superpower for things, fat crap like Blissey and stuff. It just is going to do amazing for us. Skydrop is also, so if you want to go like Toxic Skydrop, if we don't have Misty Terrain up or if we don't have Finny on the team that week, Toxic Skydrops that could be really effective if we want to go that route. So it's amazing. Roleplay is also a nice niche to have. We replace our ability with the targets. Obviously, we would lose Regenerator, but if somebody's got a very annoying ability, say... I can't think of exactly a situation like that, but we could eventually go roleplay if we really wanted to go that route. But yeah, there's just so many things this thing's going to be able to do, and it's going to be really great. That's all I'm going to say about that. But a nice bulk up set could be cool too, or agility, depending on where we want to go. But yeah, Tornado Sarian should not have lasted to the 5th round. That's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, like I had talked about earlier, I wanted sand offense. And before somebody else just randomly decided to take it, like nobody else was going that route of sand offense, or they already had Tyranitar, and I didn't think anyone else would draft it. But in the 6th round, we actually went with our sand setter and our second Stealth Rock user in Gigalith. The reason we went Gigalith this early, or not this early, but, well, kind of early. I could have probably waited till a later round to get it and picked up something different. But honestly, I wanted to make sure I got this, because obviously this thing's really, really bulky. So somebody may have just taken it as a potential wall, and I didn't want to get sniped from it. And obviously we couldn't afford Tyranitar anymore because we got a tier 1 in Tornadus and a tier 1 in Excadrill. And somehow we lose 50 points for Megalodius and we get all this stuff still. I don't know how, but I won't argue with it whatsoever. Also, Tapu Fini, like tier 2A, usually that's a tier 1, so it seems like we got 3 tier 1s to a degree, because usually Tapu Fini is tier 2A, or tier 1 in some fashion or another in most leagues, so I will gladly take that. But Gigalith is going to be our sand setter, so it's a really cool Pokemon to have because it gets Stealth Rock for 1. It gets a lot of coverage moves, so it's not really going to be passive because it does have more attack than physical defense. It's got 135 attack, 130 defense, and then in this sand, its special defense is crazy good too. So this thing's really never going to die for us. This thing isn't going to get OHKO'd by any non-Z move, I don't think, or any Pokemon that either a Pokemon's got to be set up or it's got to use a Z move. I think that's the only way something's going to OHKO it. And even then, even a Z move, I don't know if the Z move really can OHKO this thing. Obviously, if we go the sturdy route, we're not going to have that problem, but, you know, I'm not going to mess around with that. Sandstream is what we're going to be doing more often than not. But this thing has got a lot of good... Like, I can just explode on something and just get rid of a threat if I really needed to go that route. So it's also got a nice curse set if we wanted to go that way. It's got a lot of fun things that I'm looking forward to using. Obviously, I keep saying obviously and stuff. I keep using the same words in this. I don't understand why, but I'm usually not like that. I usually have a bigger vocabulary than this, so excuse me. Excuse my limited vocabulary for this video, guys. Or Substrike Army. But yes, this is going to be a lot of fun to use. Like, our first 6 Pokemon are just great. I'm going to love using all of them. But yeah, that's about halfway done through the draft. So let's get going to the next Pokemon. So let's do that. So we are going to go to our next pickup, and that will be Umbreon, because I didn't want Megalodios to be a Wish Passer a lot of weeks. And I wanted the Wish Passer. I was actually aiming to get Blissey, because they were both tier 3, and I wanted another Stealth Rocker already, but Blissey sadly got taken a little bit before me. It wasn't a sniper, it wasn't a pick before me or anything. It was like, I think a round. It was like a couple picks after I picked Gigalith, I think. I want to say that. So I was like, well, Umbreon's still there. We don't have a Dark type yet. Umbreon's not very passive because of Roar. Yeah, I could get taunted and everything like that, and then be setup fodder like that, but it does get foul play, so it really can't be setup fodder for like Dragon Dance sweepers or anything. Like a Haxorus that taunts Umbreon, it's not gonna, it can't set up a Dragon Dance and then do that, because foul play is gonna completely nuke it. So you heard that first, Ty. You can't go that route with me. But anyway, yeah, Umbreon should be a pretty good glue Pokemon to this team. Just a nice Wish Passer, gets Baton Pass for momentum. We're really not going to be using this thing other than that. Like, it's just a nice Cleric with Heal Ball. I know we have Tapu Fini, but like for Pokemon like Tornadus T that might get poisoned upon switching, like if somebody predicts the switch and clicks Toxic, which would be a good play by them. It's just a nice niche to have in the back pocket if we need to go that route. Also, we get Moonlight if we don't want to run a Wish that week or anything like that. And obviously, if the stand's not up, because that wouldn't be necessarily the best. We'd only be getting 25% health back. Surprisingly, this is a Pursuit Trapper. Like, it's not the best, but like, say somebody's got like a Hoopa. C? Is it C? Whatever. Hoopa, the non-unbound form, the 70 base speed one, the better special attacker, the Ghost Psychic type. It can get Pursuit Trapped easily by this. Then again, if that Hoopa were a Z Pokemon, it can just go for Z Focus Blast. In that case, we'd probably go Chople just to completely wreck it, but you never know. Another Taunter. We have plenty of Taunt users on this team, so it's going to be great this season. Pretty much like half of our team has Taunt, and I'm going to enjoy having that option. But yeah, Umbreon's pretty self-explanatory. I'm probably not going to do anything too extraordinarily weird with this thing, but it should do okay. I can definitely see this thing just being a nice glue Pokemon. Hi, Lucy. What are you doing, kitty girl? My cat's just literally walking around. I'm actually recording this on hashtag International Cat Day, so hey, Lucy, come here. Okay, she wants to run around. I'll let her be. But yeah, that's Umbreon for us, guys. Zipstrike Army. Our next pick is actually going to be our 8th round pick? Yes, our 8th round pick. And believe it or not, I was considering this Pokemon as a potential Z Pokemon, but I decided against it for our 9th pick. But our next pick is actually Chandelure. Chandelure is a good spin blocker. Just an amazing special attacker. Our team was kind of limited on special attackers to a degree. I mean, well, I guess our team's mostly, or it's like halfway special attackers. I mean, we don't have like a wall breaking special attacker. Torn Key can do pretty well in that regard. Same with Mega Latias, but if they need to be supportive, we need like an all-out special wall breaker, and Chandelure fits that bill perfectly. A nice Calm Mindset could be effective some weeks. Just spamming Shadow Ball to teams that are weak to it will be great. Pain Split with Life Orb could be cool. Scarfed is always viable. Flash Fire and is just a great ability. Infiltrator could be nice too for those subsets for Pokemon that have sub. All depending on the matchup. Flash Fire being a fire immunity is cruel. Matches up pretty well with Umbreon because it resists all of its weaknesses, or is immune. It's immune to fighting, resists bug, resists fairy. It also matches up just well with the team in general. It's base 80, so I thought that was a pretty good speed tier to have. We're going to get our speed tiers looking better down the line. Our fastest Pokemon is going to be Tornadus T at 121. We have 110 Latias, 88 Excadrill, 85 Fini, 80 Chandelure. And I mentioned Ghost Fire is just a phenomenal typing to have because those two stabs are going to hit everything really hard. And the fact that it also has things like Energy Ball, Dark Pulse, just Haze in case you want to go that. Memento, maybe I should have made this my Memento or my Z user because of Z Memento. I sadly forgot about that, so if I somehow make a transaction, I will change that. Maybe I can use one of my transactions to change my Z Pokemon. I don't know, but it's going to be great. I also get Psychic if I need to go that route or something like that for like a Poison type. Another Taunt user. Will-O-Wisp user. So many, if I want to bring Toxapex, we actually have Toxapex later down the line. We can go that route. So, yeah, we have Hex, I believe, with this thing as well. Yeah, we do. So many things we're going to be able to use this Pokemon with. And it's going to be a tremendous part of our team. And a nice thing we could use is Imprison as well. Psych Up. I'm not going to reveal everything I could possibly use with this thing, so we'll just leave it at that. But that's Chandelure. That's our round 8 pickup. And it's going to be great for sure. Our round 9 pickup is actually our third Z Pokemon, and that's going to be Electivire. The reason for Electivire is, for one, it gives us base 95. I was actually thinking about Electabuzz in tier 5. Well, I think they're both tier 5, but I was thinking about Electabuzz a little bit too because it was 105, but I'm like, no. Electivire hits a little bit harder. It gives us another physical attacker, so it takes off pressure from Excadrill a lot. Base 123 is nothing to scoff at. A couple of reasons why this thing is our Z user over Chandelure is because it gets a lot of coverage moves, like Earthquake, like the Elemental Punches, like fighting moves. Obviously, its own electric moves could be nice. Z Electric Terrain could be tremendously good because think about it, if we're facing something like an Amoonguss, if it wants to try to spore us, we click Z Electric Terrain, get that +1, and we can be in pretty good shape too, especially if Amoonguss is semi-weakened and it can't take like a Fire Punch next turn. That'll be great to have as an option. So yeah, it just gets enough coverage moves. Like typically Electivire is not that great, but I want to show people that this thing is a force to be reckoned with, and his name's actually going to be Seabassy Electivire. Chandelure will be Devad, I believe. No, A1X or Alex, and then Umbreon will be named Devad, or David, my friend David. But yeah, Electivire is going to be cool to use. It's definitely an underrated Pokemon. I feel it could be easily tier 4 if used correctly, but I think the reason why it's tier 5 is because people just don't know how to harness its true potential, and I'm looking to see how good this can be in draft form. Maybe it'll be absolute crap, but I'm thinking more so it's going to be pretty good actually. So it's hi. Lucy is meowing, so I figured I'd say hi to her. But yeah, Electivire is going to be a great Pokemon. I've said that about everything, but I just envision this team doing pretty well this season. And there are a lot of new additions to the ICBA too, like Aberforth from the NPL. We got Lars, head coach of the Borussia Donphan from the GBA. So we got some bigger names from this, and it's going to be a lot of fun this season in the ICBA. It's going to be a lot better than last season, I feel, because everything's more organized. Obviously, last season was the inaugural season, so we're trying to work out kinks and everything. But this season will be a lot better, I assure you of that, even though it's not my league. The NPCC is my league, which draft analysis for that is going to be coming soon as well. But yes, that was a round 9 pick in Electivire, and this is a long video. I didn't expect it to be this long. But our 10th round pick, we were didn't really have much priority on our team. We really only had like Quick Attack on Electivire and Umbreon as our really only in our priority Pokemon, our priority moves on our team, and I didn't want that, so we actually decided to go with Piloswine. It's going to be named Lambo. Obviously Gigalith will be named Claymraker as well. Just so I'd let you know. But yeah, this is Lambo because the Green Bay Packers Stadium is Lambeau Field. The frozen tundra, ice type, frozen, makes sense to me. It gives us the 3rd Stealth Rock user. Unfortunately, we only have 3. But we have Spikes with Chestnut, and this thing gives us Ice Shard priority. It's a very bulky Pokemon that can take on certain threats. I'm not going to name which, because I've already been naming off possible strategies that I'm going to be doing this season, and I need to keep my damn mouth shut. But Earthquake spam is always nice to have. Base 100 attack is very viable. It's a lot bulkier than its evolution, Mamoswine, because of the Violite and everything like that. Freeze Dry isn't really a good option, but it could potentially be that. Knockoff is great to have. Wait, it doesn't get knockoff? What? Why does Mamoswine get knockoff? Oh, I guess it's weird. I thought Piloswine got knockoff too, just like Mamoswine, but no, Piloswine doesn't, but that's okay still. Still could be cool to have. I mean, a nice rest tox that we could go with eventually, but probably not. It's probably just gonna be like 3 attacks, Stealth Rock most weeks. But it's not a Pokemon that'll come every week. Like our top 5 or the top 4, we have Megalodios, Excadrill, Finny, and Tornti. Like those Latias, Excadrill, and Tornti will probably come pretty much every single week, or most weeks, just because they usually won't have a bad matchup. They're always going to have some merit for them coming. So I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of that as I can. So I'm going to be having a lot of fun. This is actually a Dragon check too, because of its Stick Fat ability and its bulk. I can check Pokemon like Dragonite, Salamence. Not just because of Ice Shard, but Avalanche is going to hurt them really bad as well. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a good bulky pivot, or not bulky pivot, a bulky Pokemon for us to have, just because I was feeling that we didn't have any priority. So also can't be taunted because of Oblivious, so if you want to go the Oblivious route, we will go the Oblivious route with Piloswine if we want to make sure we get rocks up, but I'm not necessarily going to go that. It's just an option to have. But yeah, that was our 10th round pick in Piloswine. I'm actually rambling quite a bit. It's been 34 minutes long for one video, so I don't want to be too much longer. I wanted to be under 40, which I think we're going to be, which is going to be great. But last but not least, our round 11 pick is actually going to be a Pokemon I've never seen used before in draft format. And I wanted Toxic Spikes as an option, and I had to pick a tier 5B because based on the poke points that I've spent on Tornti and Drill and Megalodios, I had to go this route. So the last pick on our team is actually going to be Ariados, named Brad, because it's kind of like the Derpy's Pokemon in camp, and I always name the Derpy's Pokemon after Brad, U-turn Crobat. So we get Sticky Webs with this thing. We get more priority in like Sucker Punch, Shadow Sneak. Its attack is okay at base 90, not the best, but it's not passive because Mega Horn hurts like a truck. Poison Jab, it gets Webs and T-Spike, so I thought that was important. Also, Agility, Baton Pass, if we needed to go that route. Also, it gets Leech Life now, which is really cool because Leech Life is buffed in this gen, and I definitely want to take advantage of that. And apparently, it gets a move called Toxic Thread, which I've never heard of before. Apparently, that lowers the target speed and poisons it. Interesting. Makes sense for a spider, though, because it's an Ariados. I've never heard of that move before until right now. So that might be a potential thing that we use. I'm not going to use it for sure, but yeah, it'll be pretty cool to use that if we absolutely have to. But yeah, Ariados isn't really going to be used that much, if at all. It's kind of just there for people saying, hey, this guy could bring Sticky Web, and if he does, you're kind of in trouble to a degree because that'll make Excadrill, Chandelure, Electivire, all those average speed Pokemon that much bigger of a threat. And then Torntea. It makes Torntea one of the biggest threats of our team, and Mega Latias. Even Tapu Fini, a nice calm mindset in that regard, could be great, but that will be for team building. I'm not going to give away any. I don't even know what we're going to run against certain people. I haven't even really looked at our week 1 matchup yet. I think we faced the Celestian Subtiles or whatever the team name is. I can't remember. I think the head coach is Pepper, or it's a weird name on Discord. It's like P3JPR. I can't necessarily remember his name, so I'm sorry, but I'll have the name correct once we get that far into week 1 team builder, which this will be going up on August 14th, Monday, this one, even though I'm recording it 6 days earlier. And then the week 1 will be the 21st, team builders will be the 20th. So that will work out pretty well in my humble opinion. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Zubstrika Army, my name is JaCubAsAlways. You guys are the Zubstrika Army. And this has been our ICBA draft recap. Again, our team is hashtag Graham Sucks, the Mega Latias, A-Rod, the Excadrill, Brienne, the Tapu Fini, Ty, the Chestnut, Scruffy, the Tornadus, Claymaker, the Gigalith, Devad, the Umbreon, A1X or Alex, the Chandelure, Seabass, the Electivire or Subby, Lambo, the Piloswine, and Brad, the Ariados. Let me know what you guys think of our team in the description or in the comments down below. I look forward to reading them and replying to them as well, because this is going to be a brand new start for our draft journey and our YouTube career in general. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I love you all so very much. Adios, Zubstrika Army. Bye-bye.